Hey everybody. So I got a couple more games to go ahead and upload, so I figure I'll go ahead and get on it. And here we go. I'm trying something out, new out. Actually, I'll show it real quick. Somebody in the forums is playing a list that's extremely similar to this. I think it might be a little bit more aggressive. It has the Gataxian probes in it. I used to run Gataxian probes, and then I decided to drop them. And only one Pyrite Spellbomb. And the sideboard is a little bit different as well. Also, a Pithy Needle in the sideboard, one extra Pithy Needle, and it seems to be about the only difference. Really, this isn't the sideboard that he's using, but that's what I'm going with. So I just played a game against that Emeria control deck, and I typically seem to do well against it. It's really cool. So anyways, I kept this hand because I had a bell, a needles, and surgical, and opal. I figured it, and I had a stirring. So I figured if I just get a green mana, then I should be okay. And I can either get a bridge or an Academy Ruins if I need it and self-mill like crazy into a bridge. And the surgical should help me figure out what to name with the needle. It ended up not happening though, because my opponent played that Ghost Quarter, and I was like, oh no, a Ghost Quarter. Hey, look, a Ruins. So I named that Ghost Quarter with the needle. You see, I grabbed a Spellskite. My only choices were Spellskite and lands there, so I grabbed the Spellskite. That way, when I do draw a bridge, I should be okay. Or if and when I draw a bridge. So yeah, this is a Emeria control deck. Like I said, I love this deck. So I self-mill into a Lantern. I play the Lantern. That's really weird. Oh yeah, sorry, self-mill into a Lantern, and I put it back on top. So I would draw it. And then, hey look, I got a bridge on top. Opponent casted Judgment with one on top. So I go ahead and, instead of playing the bridge, I was afraid my opponent had an Oblivion Ring. I didn't want to play a bridge out there without having some way to protect it. So I hold on, and my opponent isn't going to kill me like next turn, so I put the Spellskite back on top and go for it. So I didn't really know what I was going to name with that Pithy Needle, and then my opponent played Mortar Pod, and I was like, oh, well, that answers that. So I draw the Needle, and I name Mortar Pod. Now that this doesn't stop the Germ token's ability to sack, it just stops the equip ability from Mortar Pod. So yeah, there's that Oblivion Ring that I was afraid of, and I just redirected to Spellskite. And I'm still holding on to that Surgical, and I decide I'm going to play it during my opponent's upkeep to get rid of that Court Hussar, because I really don't like it. And it also gives me a good idea as to what my opponent's running. There we go. So draw the Needle. And this time I named Ether Spellbomb since I got a good look at my opponent's library. I didn't want my opponent to be able to use that to draw into more stuff at instant speed or bounce stuff to my hand so he can swing under bridge. So now I'm just on the burn game plan. All I have to do is control my opponent's draws and burn them out with the Ether Grid. Ether Grid is so great in this deck. So play the bell and just keep on going. And when my opponent realizes I'm just going to play the burn plan and control his draws, he concedes. He or she concedes. Yeah, I told him I really like that Emeria deck. So, game 2. Hey, Ether Grid, look at that. I have a good duress, I have bridge and a way to protect it, and I have all the mana that I need. So, I go with it. I'm a little afraid my opponent has counter magic, but hey, duress tells me. Now here, I go ahead and get the Ether Grid online as quick as possible instead of playing Bridge. So I decided to play that, turn on Opal, play out the Ether Grid so I can start the clock now. I didn't want my opponent to be able to bounce the missionaries there. So I play the bridge. I'm afraid he has counter magic, but hey, he doesn't. So now my clock gets a little faster with that third grid. Fortunately, there's so many dead cards against me in this deck, that Emeria deck, that it just works. So I'm not milling my opponent at all because I do not want to give my opponent good targets for the Emeria or the Sun Titan. Instead, I'm just going all-out bird plan. Yeah, I'm always afraid of these Corsairs because I have no way to control the draws, and it gives them a little bit more search. But it didn't happen, so I'm okay. Now, I did side in Grafdigger's Cage, and hey, my opponent has a counter for this, unfortunately. That would have been great to land a Lantern, but no such luck. I am afraid of my opponent's Ghost Quarter here. And I wait to use the Ghost Quarter. See, I see my opponent has 2 more Emerias in hand. My opponent accidentally targets his own Ghost Quarter, so that works out. I don't know if he thought that it was going to let him get to 7 planes or what, but... So, Stirrings, go ahead and get that Grafdigger's Cage, and that essentially shuts down the deck almost entirely. Like, now my opponent has to answer Spell's Guide and 2 bridges and a Grafdigger's Cage, all while I'm burning him for, 3 points per turn. There's that Oblivion Ring. Make that retarget Spell's Guide instead of Cage. And my opponent tries to start dealing some damage to me, but I got a faster clock. So now we're just in a top deck war, and I just happen to have a faster clock. I was tempted to sack the Shredder to go get another for the Stirrings, but I was afraid that if my opponent drew counter, so yeah, here my opponent's at 4. The game's over. If he can't kill me this turn, then I'm okay. So I just deal 3, and then during my upkeep I kill him. So yeah, that's the matchup against the Emeria deck. And thanks for watching.